Al-Hajj 22:52. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ ثُمَّ يُحْكِمُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. And we have not sent from before you a messenger or a prophet, except when he wishes, Shaitan encounters in his wish. So Allah cancels what Shaitan encounters. Then Allah governs his ayahs, signs, and Allah is knowing wise. Now Allah is telling in all times, whenever the message is being delivered, Shaitan encounters. With the messengers, we have not sent from before you a messenger nor a prophet. Whenever the messenger or a prophet, or if you follow the person, a person is following the messenger, whenever he is delivering the message, except when he wishes, the man, the human being, he wishes, Shaitan encounters in his wish. He comes in his wish, in his desires, the Shaitan. In all time, in every human being, he encounters in the person's wish. So Allah cancels. If you are with the Quranic ayahs, so Allah cancels what Shaitan encounters. Then Allah governs his ayats, signs, and Allah is knowing wise. So whenever you are reading the Quran or the ayahs of Allah, the messenger's personality, we all are influenced by all the messengers. We are influenced by the messengers. But when the Shaitan, when the message is being delivered, the Shaitan encounters in the personality of the messenger, in his wish. So Allah cancels the wish, what Shaitan encounters, and he establishes or governs his ayats in all times. So likewise in Surah An-Nahl 112, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ مَا فَعَلُوا فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ. Surah An-Nahl 6:112. And likewise we have made every prophet, the shayateens, the satans of mankind, the shayateen, the satans of jinkind, an enemy. They inspire flowery sayings, deluding each other. And if your Lord had willed, they would have not done it. So leave them what they have invented. So in this ayat Allah says that we have made for every prophet and the shayateens of mankind and the shayateens of jinkind, who are basically enemy of the prophet. All the prophet, every prophet. The enemy of the Shaitan is the enemy of every prophet. So what he inspires, flowery saying, Aqwal Zari, they say, Zukhruf al-Qawli Ghurura, Zukhruf al-Qawli Ghurura. They inspire flowery sayings, deluding each other. If your Lord had willed, they would have not done it. So leave them and what they've invented. So basically the shayateens and the satans are enemy to the prophets. How can you distort the personality of the prophets? How? How can you destroy? Because Allah has preserved the personalities of all messengers and prophets in the Quran. Allah has preserved all the personalities of the messengers in the Quran. But how you can misguide? By writing your own books. For example, I read again, prophets with fahisha and nudity. And he, Noah, drank the wine and he lay naked. Noah is Nuh. That is mentioned in Genesis 9:21 verse. I'm again quoting the Bible. How you can distort the personality of the prophets. And he, Noah, drank of the wine and he lay naked. He lay naked. Who? Noah alayhi salam, astaghfirullah. That's recorded in the Bible. David wickedly caused the death of Uriah, the husband of Bathsheba, 2 Samuel 11:16-25. And David sent messengers to fetch her, Bathsheba. They brought her to him and he made love to her. David is Dawood alayhi salam. Astaghfirullah, they say. Is this the distortion of the personality of the messengers or not? So Lut alayhi salam, according to the Bible, Lut alayhi salam, Quran speaks of Lut alayhi salam so highly of. I don't have time to go into detail, but they say incest between Lot and his two daughters, Genesis 19:33-35. Lut alayhi salam is the prophet of God and he had sex with his two daughters. These two daughters gave wine to Lut alayhi salam, and he got drunk and he did sex to the daughters. Is this God saying to do? How to distort the personality of the messengers? You read other books other than Quran. No comparison. No comparison with the Quran and any book of which you are distorting the personality of the prophets. Incest between David's son, Dawood alayhi salam's son, David's son Absalom, and his father's concubines. Father's concubines, he has sex. Who? The David's son. Incest between brother Amnon, David's another son, and sister Tamar. 2 Samuel 13 and verse 14. These are the things you read in the Bible where it is mentioned that how the prophets and how the nudity and the alcohol and other things are propagated. So this is the way they tell us in the Bible, and wherever the prophet is mentioned, you must be very careful. You're reading which book? The messenger's book the messenger's personality is to be found in Quran. But if you're reading other books, you must be very careful what are you reading. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ مَا فَعَلُوا فَذَرْهُمْ وَمَا يَفْتَرُونَ. And likewise we have made for every prophet the shayateens of mankind and the shayateen of jinkind an enemy. They inspire flower sayings, deluding each other. If your Lord had willed, they would have not done it. So leave them and what they have invented. It is their inventions about the prophets. They are doing it. And Allah says they write so flowery. I have just quoted the few words. But if you read those portions, it's like, stimulating your mind. In all times, whenever the Quranic ayahs are being recited, people start doubting, and this doubt shall be among the people's mind. So in Surah Ash-Shuara, so Allah explained in the further ayahs 221, 222, 223 and 224. Shall I give you Hal unabbikum ala man tanazzul shayateen? Shall I give you the news on whom the shayateens descend? Tanazzalu ala kulli afakin asim. They descend on every lying, wicked person. That is the character of the person whom the shayateens descend. Tanazzalu ala kulli afakin asim. Yulquna sam'a wa aktharum kazibun. They encounter the hearing and the majority are liars on whom the shayateens descend. وَالشُّعَرَاءُ يَتَّبِعُ الْغَاوُونَ. And on the poets who follow their tempters. Now Allah says this message is not sent by the shayateen. The shayateen, hal unabbiukum ala man tanazzalu shayateen. Should I give you the news on whom the shayateens descend? That people should know in all times on whom the shayateens descend. Shayateen is descended on those who are wicked, liars. They descend on every lying, wicked person. The character of that person will be liar. He will lie. He is a wicked person on whom the shayateen descend. Tanazzalu ala kulli afakin asim. Yulquna sam'a wa aktharum kazibun. And they encounter the hearing. And the majority are liars. So they encounter the hearing, they won't get the message. They encounter the hearing and the majority are liars. They lie on whom the shayateens descend. The Satans descend. And on the poets who follow their tempters. Imagine these poets. They have been mesmerizing with their poetry in the whole world, touching the feelings of man, stimulating, stirring up the feelings of man. All sorts of poetry, whom the shayateens descend. All sorts of poetry. So in Surah Ash-Shuara 26, 210, 211 and 212, Allah explains. This message you are receiving through the Quranic ayahs, Allah says, وَمَا تَنَزَّلَتْ بِهِ الشَّيَاطِينَ وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُمْ وَمَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ إِنَّهُمْ عَنِ السَّمْعِ لَمَعْزُولُونَ. And the shayateens have not descended with it. I mean, whatever the message you are receiving, it is not, the shaitan has not descended with this message. And it is not desirable for them, the shayateens, and they are not obedient. They are definitely isolated about the hearing. Whenever the ayahs are being recited, whenever the Quranic understanding comes forward, so people have doubts. So Allah says, and the Shayateens have not descended with this message. The Shayateens did not descend with this message. It is not desirable for them. They don't even like it. They can't even understand it. It is not desirable for them and they are not obedient. They are definitely isolated about the hearing. Isolated, left alone. They can't hear the message of Allah. Surah Al-Takweer 81, 19, 25, 26 and 27. إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ شَيْطَانِ رَجِيمٍ فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Surely this is the saying of an honorable messenger. Whenever you read the ayahs and you understand the message, Allah says, إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ. Surely this is the saying of honorable messenger. وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ شَيْطَانِ رَجِيمٍ. And it is not with the saying of the shaitan stoned. You are hearing ayahs of Allah. They are the saying of the messenger. What Rasul Muhammad said in life, in history, in times and all times. It is through him we get the message of Allah. Innahu laqawlu rasulin kareem. Surely this is the saying of very honorable messenger. Wama huwa biqawli shaitanir rajim. It is not with the saying of shaitan stoned. Fa aina tadhabun. So then where are you going? And looking for messenger saying, where are you going? In huwa illa dhikrul lil alameen. It is nothing except the remembrance of the worlds, for the worlds. This message is remembrance for all worlds, alameen. In huwa illa dhikrul lil alameen. It is nothing except the remembrance for all worlds. There are no barriers. You can take up the book and read it. It is the messenger saying, إنه لقول رسول كريم وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين. So surely this is the saying of an honorable messenger. It is not with the saying of shaitan stone. Then where are you going? Where are you wandering about in the world? You must understand. You must read. Practice the message of Allah. Then where are you going? It is nothing except the remembrance for the worlds. So in Surah Az-Zukhruf 43, these ayahs is the cure or how to guard from the shaitan. Zukhruf 43 and 36 and 37. وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ نُقَيِّدْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ لَيَصُدُّونَهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَيَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. Allah says very clearly, and whosoever is dim-sighted, about the remembrance of Allah most gracious, for him we barter from him a shaitan, so he will be connected for him. Can you imagine? Whosoever is dim-sighted, meaning who can't see the Quran through and through the message, who can't get the message, he's a dim-sighted person about the remembrance of Allah most gracious. So Allah, we barter for him, Allah exchange for him. If you don't take the guidance from Allah's book, he barters for you a devil, a shaitan, and he will be connected to you. Imagine. وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ. And whosoever is dim-sighted, blind, closing his eyes about the remembrance of Allah most gracious, whoever does so, Allah says we barter for him a shaitan, he will be connected for him. If you do not know the message of Allah's ayahs, Allah will barter for you a shaitan, he will be always in connection with you. Always. This is an exchange by Allah. The shaitan, you get it in the instead of remembrance of Allah most gracious. If you do not know the Quranic ayat with essence, he exchanged for you a shaitan and he will be connected with you. That's what Allah says, وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ نُقَيِّدْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. And whosoever is blind, closing his eyes, dim-sighted about the remembrance of Allah most gracious, we barter for him a shaitan, he will become connected for him. And the beauty is, وَإِنَّهُمْ لَيَصُدُّونَهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَيَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. And they will definitely oppose them about the way. These shayateens will oppose the people about the way, and they will calculate that they are the guided ones. They are all right. They are all right. Can you imagine? First of all, they are opposing, the shaitan is opposing them because he is connected. You don't get to receive the message of Allah. The shaitan is connected with you. And then he, shayateens, oppose these people And they realize about he opposes the way of Allah, and they think they are all right. They are the guided ones. They are on the right path. Motadun. In Arabic, motad means guided ones. Without remembrance of Allah most gracious, you think you are guided? It is a barter exchange. If you do not know the Quranic ayat with meanings, you have been exchanged by the devil. He is on you. He is taking good care of you, and you are thinking you are guided one. The Quran says, وَإِنَّهُمْ لَيَصُدُّونَهُمْ عَنِ السَّبِيلِ وَيَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُهْتَدُونَ. And they will definitely oppose them about the way, and they will calculate they are the guided ones. So remember, you must memorize these ayahs. So you must always keep in mind, if I am not taking guidance from the Quranic ayahs, so Shaitan will be barter for me. Allah will exchange the Shaitan on me all the time. And I will think I am the guided one. I am all right. Don't forget, on the day of judgment, you'll bite your hands. You'll bite your hands and you will say, I would have taken the way with the messenger, not with the devil. The time will come. So you have to amend here now. The time is here to get guidance. Now. Not afterwards when it's too late. So Allah says in further ayahs, you have to remember, Nahl 16, 98, 99 and 100. In the first beginning I started with this ayah. فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Whenever you read the Quran, then seek Allah's protection from the Shaitan, the stoned or the rejected. إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لَهُ سُلْطَانٌ عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. Surely he has no authority over those who believe and over those who put their trust over the Lord. إِنَّمَا سُلْطَانُهُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَوَلَّوْنَهُ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِهِ مُشْرِكُونَ. Surely he has authority over those who make him a protector and those who associate with him. So now Allah says, the beginning I recited the ayahs for the Muslim world. Whenever you read the Quran, because he's been bartered for you, he's been exchanged for you, you're linked with the Shaitan. So you want to read the Quran, so seek Allah's protection. فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ. Whenever you read the Quran, seek Allah's protection. فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. From the Shaitan, the stoned. It is the Shaitan who will never let you read the Quran. He will block your barriers. Thousands of barriers. Do you know Arabic? Do you know Arabic? No, you can't read the Quran. Have you gone through the histories? Have you gone through the logics? You take a Bible. This is the Bible. You can read it. Nobody is going to say you have to read some other book to read the Bible. I've read the Bible. But the Quran you can't read. Imagine. You can't read it. They say. So who is saying it? فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Whenever you read the Quran, Allah says, seek Allah's protection. You don't have to go anywhere. Seek Allah's protection. Seek Allah's protection from the Shaitan, the rejected, the stoned. He will not let you read the book. He will not let you take the message of Allah. Who is bothering you? Who is giving a barrier? Not the Jews, not the Christians, not the Hindus, not the Buddhists, not the atheists. Who came to your house and said, don't read the Quran? It is the devil who is stopping you, putting you barriers not to read the book. So in the beginning I said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. I seek refuge in Allah from the Shaitan, the stone, the rejected one. It is not a book from Shaitan. It is a book from Allah who is telling you how to read the book. You don't have to do anything except Allah's protection. فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ. Whenever you read the Quran, seek Allah's protection from the Shaitan, the stone. إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لَهُ سُلْطَانٌ عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. Surely he, the Shaitan, has no authority over those who believe and put their trust over the Lord. If you trust in Allah, that is coming from Allah, you take up Allah's protection and read the book with meanings and translations and try to understand the message, the essence, so you can guide. He's sitting on the straight path. He will not let you read the book. He's sitting on the straight path. So you must take up the book. Don't go and ask any other person what the Quran is. You have to give your own account. Read, understand, then go to somebody taking an ayat, what this ayat says. Without knowing, you asking somebody about Allah. So Allah says, إِنَّمَا سُلْطَانُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَوَلَّوْنَهُ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِمُشْرِكُونَ. Surely the Shaitan has authority over those who make him as a protector and those who associate with him. Surah Al-Araf 7, 200, 201 and 202. وَإِمَّا يَنزَغَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْغٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And if you are incited, stimulate from the Shaitan to incitement, to stimulation, so seek refuge with Allah. Surely He is all hearing, all knowing. Meaning, this ayat is telling you, وَإِمَّا يَنزَغَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْغٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And if you are incited or stimulated from the Shaitan to incitement, seek refuge with Allah. Surely He is all hearing and all knowing. Meaning, فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. What does it mean? Whenever the Shaitan incites you, stimulates you, stirs you up, your feelings are stirred up or stimulated, you seek Allah in protection, with Allah in protection from the Shaitan. He's inciting you. He is surely hearing and knowing. So whenever you get the incitement or stimulation from the Shaitan, first is billah, innahu sami'un, seek Allah in protection. Surely He is all hearing and knowing. So you must remember this ayat. Whenever you get a wrong concept or feelings are stimulated, immediately call in remembrance of Allah. What is the purpose of these ayats? To take guard against the Shaitan, to guard yourself by the ayats. Everybody has got feelings, and Shaitan is looking all the time how to encounter the personality. So you must guard yourself. So now further it says 201, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ تَذَكَّرُوا فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ. Surely those who fear, when they are encircled from the touch of the Shaitan, they remember Allah, so they get the sight. He keeps on circling in your mind. He keeps on circling in your mind, meaning he's just rotating in your mind all the time. He's giving you new concepts and ideas. Again and again you're stuck up with the emotions and feelings, and he circles in your mind. So Allah says, surely those who fear, when they are encircled from the touch of the Shaitan, they must remember Allah, so they get the sight. The moment you remember Allah's ayahs, remember Allah is not Allah, just Allah, Allah. You have to remember the ayahs of Allah. Then only you get the sight, the basarat, the sight, by which you can see clearly. This was the devil's planning. So you must take these ayahs as healing for you. وَإِخْوَانُهُمْ يَمُدُّونَهُمْ فِي الْغَيِّ ثُمَّ لَا يُخْسِرُونَ. Their brothers, the Shaitanic brothers, expand them in wrong, and they do not relax. They don't get tired, these Shaitans. You must be aware of them. These brothers, their brothers expand these people in wrong, and they do not relax. Again and again they come back again to your mind. You have to repeat the ayahs again. Again they will come in your mind. Then you repeat the ayahs again with Arabic and meaning, so that you can defend yourself and control yourself. Emotions and feelings, control yourselves. This is how he keeps on coming to you. In Surah Al-Muminun 23, 96, 97, 98. إِدْفَعَ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ السَّيِّئَةِ نَحْنُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا يَصِفُونَ وَقُلْ رَبِّ أَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ هَمَزَاتِ الشَّيَاطِينِ وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ رَبِّ أَنْ يَحْضُرُونَ. Repel the ill, hurts, badness with what which is good. Repel ill, hurt, badness with what which is good. We know very well with what they describe. You must do this. You must remember this. إِدْفَعَ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ السَّيِّئَةِ نَحْنُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا يَصِفُونَ. Repel the ills you have badness in you. You must repel it. You must revolt the badness within you. You must do it with what which is good, and the good is the ayats. You have to do a strong job to fight the devil out. It's not an easy matter. You have to do it. Repel the ills, your wrongs, your badness with what which is good. We know very well with what they describe. So, وَقُلْ رَبِّ أَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ هَمَزَاتِ الشَّيَاطِينَ. And say, oh my Lord, I seek refuge with you from the spurs of the shayateen, the satans. Spurs means impel or urge to do action. Spurs in our English means this is the shaitan is doing it. And say, oh my Lord, I seek refuge with you from the spurs of the shaitan. The sati, how he does? On the spur of the moment you do it. You didn't plan it. For if you're talking to someone or something, you're talking to somebody, and you will note if somebody says something which hurts your feelings, you get irritated immediately. Immediately, for the spur of the moment you are excited. You lose yourself, and the shaitan takes over you. So Allah says, and at the same moment he does it, means he impel or urge to do action. And it was not planned. That action was not planned. It was of the spur of the moment I did it. But you lost. Is the devil doing it all the time with you? Because you do not know the ayahs to control yourself. He does it again and again, and still you do mistakes again and again. Everybody, me, myself. But we have to control. What is the purpose of this book? وَقُلْ رَبِّي أَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ هَمَزَاتِ الشَّيَاطِينِ. And say, oh my Lord, I seek refuge with you from the spurs of the shayateens. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ رَبِّي أَنْ يَحْضُرُونَ. And I seek refuge with you, oh my Lord. They keep on attending me. They attend me. All that time they are ready to stimulate me, to stir me, to put me on the wrong. They are ready all the time. Now, on the day of judgment, when all mankind is there, are supposed to be there giving their account. So Surah Furqan 25 and 26 ayat. وَيَوْمَ تَشَقَّقُ السَّمَاءُ بِالْغَمَامِ وَنُزِّلَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ تَنزِيلًا الْمُلْكُ يَوْمَئِذٍ الْحَقُّ لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَكَانَ يَوْمًا عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ عَسِيرًا. And the day the sky is split up with clouds, and the angels are sent down descending. The day the kingdom of truth shall be for the merciful, and the day would be very difficult over the rejectors. Now Allah says on that day, the sky will split up, and the clouds and the angels are sent down descending. When everybody, mankind are there to give their account. This day the kingdom of truth shall be for the merciful. The day would become very difficult over the rejectors. On that day, who followed the shaitan will be very difficult. Surah Ibrahim 14 and 22. And let us hear the shaitan in first person again. And what he says now. وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِكُمْ وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِيَّ إِنِّي كَفَرْتُ بِمَا أَشْرَكْتُمُونِي مِنْ قَبْلُ إِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And the shaitan will say, when the matter is decided, when the order is complete, surely Allah promised you the promise of truth. The shaitan is saying now, he is confessing his statement. The ayat is here now. You can identify what shaitan is going to say. When the order is complete, surely Allah promised you the promise of truth. And I promise you, then I oppose you. I promise you, then I oppose you. And it was not for me, from any authority over you, except to call you, invite you. So you answered me. So you do not blame me, blame yourselves. I am not with your screams, and you are not with my screams. Surely I reject with what you have been associating me from before. Surely for the oppressors is a grievous punishment. Can you imagine? Whenever on the day of judgment and whenever in this world he let the person do wrong, he says this. Whenever he let the person commit wrong, he says this. When any person does mistake under the influence of the shaitan, he says, surely Allah promised you the promise of truth.